Hey, hey. Anyway, so ask me the questions. What do you want to ask me?
Whoa.
You don't have a question?
So,
You can't ask me a question while
do you do like stunt driving as well in the big productions in Hollywood?
So I did a lot of car commercials for the Korean film industry.
Okay.
That's where I started. Thought I'd just unwind you and go back the other way.
Going clockwise.
How fast can we go?
Whoa, I never tried it before, but I get this is like really good.
Alright. There we go. Alright, I'll behave now. I figured you'd be able to ask some questions.
Well,
Yeah,
what's next
here's
question?
the
Okay.
questions.
Okay.
You could ask them.
One of the questions we were gonna ask was Jackie Chan.
Jackie
What was it
Chan.
like
Okay.
working with Jackie Chan?
Yeah.
So that was my first big film, and you know, I was still very young at that time. And there's just so much knowledge that I learned from Jackie and the way the Hong Kong guys did things that I still use today. That even in my work in America, a lot of the stunt guys in America, they don't have that knowledge, you know. So one little trick that they do sometimes is, you know, when they want a nice shot of someone getting kicked in the head, instead of actually kicking someone in the head, they'll use a rubber leg, or they'll even just put a shoe and this leg, the trousers on an arm, and then hit like this.
So what was your experience like in Altered Carbon?
Altered Carbon, I was hired to train the main actors, prepare Joel Kinnaman for the role, train some of the other cast members in LA, and then the production was in Vancouver. And then also I had a role on there on episode 3. Episode 3, yes. So that role required very specialized skills of knowing how to do wire work and knowing how to be comfortable in a wire.
Do you think your acting experience helps your stunt?
There's a lot of people, a lot of stunt guys, they have the mentality that, oh, I'm a stunt guy, I'm not an actor. But always telling my stunt people they have to act and have to know how to act. If you're in front of the camera, you have to be acting. Sometimes an actor looks better in a fight scene because when they pretend to get hit, they feel it with their emotion. You know, they take it from an actor's point of view. Acting is just another skill of a stuntman. Today, the modern day stuntman has to be a filmmaker, has to be an editor, has to know how to choreograph action, choreograph fights, needs to know how to act. So much stuff. Visual effects. Stunt guys are doing visual effects now.
Really?
When we do stunt previs, we have to do visual effects on the high level previs. We're doing visual effects, so we have to learn it all, have to know it all. You know, my specialty, I guess, is fighting, and then my second one would probably be driving. So I'm constantly practicing and learning and keeping my fitness as well, because that's also important. And even within fighting, it's not just one thing. It's not like I just practice one thing. I practice so many different martial arts and always constantly studying, because as a choreographer too, if you only know this much, then you can only choreograph this much. But if you know all this, then you have more colors to paint with. The boring movies are the ones that are just, the fighting is just generic. You know,
you need to tell a story.
I feel like all action sequences have to tell the story. A lot of the Chinese movies do this very well. You know, they set up a problem, they set up someone is losing because of this, and then they change the way they fight, then they overcome the situation. You know, so that's storytelling. You know,
when you filmed Battle of the Whales, you mentioned you had trouble getting the location.
So it took me like 2 months to get the location. It was a heritage listed location. There's no real reason for them to say no, so I fought it. You know, I took it as a challenge. I took their no as a challenge. So, you know, I think for independent filmmaking, for any filmmaking, I think sometimes you have to be persistent and you have to look at look at the situation and decide, are they saying no because it's really no? My philosophy as an independent filmmaker is get the money on the screen. For me, especially independent filmmaking is about, you don't have a lot of money. So then what are you going to do is you need to make a product that has great production value. It looks great. And a lot of the time that is the location. Another thing that I also make sure is if I'm making something with a bunch of friends and I'm not paying them, at the very least feed them. Feed them well.
That's important.
Yeah, because food is morale. I like Tesla. I really want to buy one, I think.
So David, do you have anything to say to the future filmmakers that want to be in Korea or worldwide?
I would say, don't talk, do.
Oh yeah, that's really important.
Don't overthink. Start. Just even if you've got a crappy idea, it's better to shoot a crappy idea and get it out of your system and then learn from it and then just move on to the next one. There's quite an interesting little expat community here in Seoul of filmmakers, and they all kind of jump on each other's projects and help each other, which I think is great. The more you can do that, the more you can learn. The more you try stuff, the more you learn. So in the end, you have to decide, do you want to be a hobby filmmaker or do you want to be a mainstream filmmaker? Because they also are different. They have different expectations or different demands. So and you have to reach to the top. You have to train hard. You have to work out what to do to get to the top.
All right, David. Thank you so much.
Thanks for having me. Thanks for letting me have a drive.
Thanks for joining us.
Catch you later.
It was fun, actually. Yeah.
Bang, right on 12.
It's kind of like dizzy, and it was spinning.